Have you ever really tried to identify what your biggest weakness is? And after you've done that, have you ever figured out what to do with it? Hey, good morning, guys and girls. We're all the way down to April 21. April 21, I believe April is my favorite month of the year. I just love April. Turkey hunting and bass fishing, crappie fishing, walleye fishing, smallmouth bass fishing, catfishing. It's just all going on. White bass are spawning. Everything's going on right now all over the south and really quite a bit up north now. Everything's beginning to break loose all over this great country of ours. April 21, looking at 1 Corinthians 1:25. 1 Corinthians 1:25. The weakness of God is stronger than human strength. The weakness of God is stronger than human strength. No matter how strong we are, the weakest part of God is more powerful than however strong we are in whatever area of our life. How much fishing line should you cut off each time you retie? In the test we did with our line testing machines, the line would usually break within about 6 to 8 inches of the lure. So, we set out a good rule of thumb is to cut off at least 1 foot of line every time that you retie. Now, I usually cut off a couple of feet, but at least 1 foot of line every time you retie. Always check your line for nicks and frays and rough spots. The weakest spot in your line is the strength of your line. So if you've got a little nick, if you've got a little fray in your line, that is the weakest part. Not the nice smooth part, but that little nick or little fray. So check your line frequently. I had a big bass just the other day. I'm sure the bass was over 10 pounds. We saw it on our locator, and I hooked that bass, and the line broke, and I didn't pull anywhere near the 20-pound test of that line, and it broke. I just must have had a little nick in that line. It probably broke it, I don't know. 6 or 8 pound pulls, all it was. Okay, how strong is your biggest weakness in life? And how much does it control you? Is it money, sex, popularity, power, or is it something else? And is it ruining your life? I guess we could just as easily say, is it ruling your life? Is it ruling your life? If it is, probably ruining your life. If it is, identify that weakness, make a trade. Trade it into God for His power. Trade your weakness for God's power. It's amazing what He can do if you'll only let Him. Let God's power be your ruler and your strength. Let me give this a little thought. How does this work in the real life, what I just said? How does that work in the real life? Let me look up here at things that can control you. Money, sex, popularity, power. I think power is controlling all of our politicians in Washington, don't you? Or is it even something else I hadn't measured? Could it be alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, lying, cheating, coveting? We can name on and on and on. Let's just say something simple and easy, like popularity. How does that work in the real life if you wanted to trade your weakness of wanting to be popular with those around you? We think about this a lot with kids. We think about kids giving in to peer pressure because they want to be popular. A lot of kids started smoking back in my days because, well, everybody's doing it. If I'm going to be popular, hang around with the cool kids, I need to have a pack of cigarettes rolled up in my sleeve of my shirt. You remember when I did that? T-shirts. Take your T-shirt, wind it up, and you had a pack of cigarettes there. You were cool if you did that. I never smoked a cigarette, but I did have a pack rolled up in there one time. It was an empty box I found on the ground. But we think about kids giving in to peer pressure. Kids drinking alcohol, drinking beer when they're underage. Because everybody's doing it. If I'm going to be popular, all the cool kids are doing this. In order to be popular, I have to conform to whatever they're doing, even though I know that's a weakness, even though I know that it's wrong. And with just a couple of the things I mentioned right there, those are weaknesses in themselves, and they become weaknesses because of something as simple as wanting to be popular with your buddies, being the one to be popular with the girls. And yet they became a weakness because many people, most people that smoke cigarettes, became addicted to them. A lot of the friends that I went to high school and college with are not here to now because of that one little 2 or 3 inch round thing that's white called a cigarette. They've died of cancer and lung problems and all kinds of problems that causes. Those become a weakness throughout their lifetime, sometimes just because they want to be popular. We want to be popular as adults too. You know, I go to, I don't know how many big functions throughout the year with Shell and O'Reilly and Bass Pro and Tracker and Ranger Boat Company and on and on and on and on and on. I go to all kinds of events, and we always have what they call a social hour before dinner. And that's where guys just have a few drinks, girls just have a few drinks. Y'all know I don't drink. I got a big running joke that I do. I get me a Coke Zero or a Diet Coke, and I tell them, well, you put a little lime in there where it'll look like I'm having an adult drink. And everybody kind of laughs at that, but it kind of everybody kind of knows that. And some of the places that we go, we've gone to year after year after year, like our big 3M up there, and the people that tend to bar up there now, well, they say, oh, Jimmy, you want your lime in here so it'll look like you're having an adult drink? Yes, sir, you remember, don't you? But that's a little bit of a witness because they know that I don't drink. So, but it's, adults, you know, they succumb to peer pressure by other adults at work. You know, maybe you're on a bowling team, maybe it's some of your buddies that you fish and hunt with, and come on, Jimmy, just have a beer. One beer is not going to hurt you. On and on and on. But so you want to be popular, so you start doing some things that you really shouldn't be doing just in order to be popular. Hi, baby doll. How you doing, Milburn? How's my little boy? How's my little boy? How you doing today? My deer are trying to get rid of their winter coat and get their summer coat, and their hair's coming out like crazy. We got deer hair everywhere. Everywhere we have deer hair. I could write a song on that. Might ought to tell that to Toby. Everywhere we have deer hair. But you trade that want to be popular in for the power of God. So when you get in a situation where you're going to compromise something to be popular, or you're going to compromise something for more money, or you're going to compromise something for sex or power, call on God. Call on God, because God will tell you right in here, Jimmy, that's not right. So you just have a little talk with him right there. Lord, you remember, I'm swapping this in for the power you gave me. I'm swapping it in for your power. By golly, he'll come through in the clutch every single time. Every single time. That's a difficult one right there to kind of explain. I hope you get the gist of what I'm talking about. Here's our tip for today. This is real easy to understand. It's a little early in the year, really, April 21. Most of the smallmouth bass are either spawning right now or have not yet spawned. Where I like to go up in the north, they're not going to spawn until about the end of May or the first week in June. Smallmouth bass like open flats, 5 to 8 feet deep, after spawning, after they get through spawning. Now, they'll actually spawn in those open flats too, generally less than 5 to 8 foot deep. But if you got a real clear lake, you got real clear water like a lot of smallmouth live in, they might actually spawn in that 5 to 8 foot water. But after they get through spawning, they like to move to those flats. If you've got rocks and boulders and grass on those flats, those are even better. That's where you want to go look for them after they get through spawning. Hey guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. I love you.